This beat got me more than 270,000 views in just 1 month. Here's exactly how I mixed it. So first thing first, I would like to show you how the beat sounds with both the mix and the master on, and after that I will break down exactly how I did it.
Okeo, let's get it.
In this video, I will only focus on how I mixed it. In my next video, I would like to show you how I master it. So maybe you are mixing or a master engineer and you're watching this video and you think that what I do is completely wrong, and that's absolutely okay, because the thing about mixing and mastering beats is there's no right way to do it. There's all kind of different ways you can do it, and it all comes down to personal preferences. So this is just how I do it. So to begin with, I will reset the levels so you can hear how it sounds when things are not leveled, and then after that I will go through the different things that I do. So the first thing I like to do when I'm mixing my beats is mixing the melodies, and what I like to use is this plugin from FL Studio called Fruity dB Meter. The most DAWs has this option, so you always can see how your level is, and I just put it up here. And then I select this part called detached, and the reason I do that is so it doesn't disappear when you click on something else, so it will always stay there. And if we start with the first element is the guitar. So what I usually aim for when I mix my melodies is I would like to have it around -20 to -15 dB, and the reason for this is because when we go into the drums, I like when the drums are louder than the melodies, and that's very normal in the trap and hip-hop genre, so that's why I keep the melodies lower. So the first thing I started with is the guitar. And as you can see, for effects I used the sound shifter just to pitch it up, and some halftime, and the fab filter EQ. That's my favorite EQ, and I took some of the low and the highs out. I also like to add a lot of reverb. I love Valhalla Vintage Verb. That's my favorite reverb, as many other producers. So it sounds like this. And as you can see, it's within the range that I talked about, -20 to -15 dB. And the same for the first vocal here. And for this one, as I just showed on the screen, I added some halftime and some Valhalla Vintage Verb too. This is not as loud as the other elements because it's just something going settle on in the background. And then we have the vocal. Although it's not the last time. And as you can see here, I added some fab filter as well, and some Valhalla Vintage Verb. Lastly, for the melodies, I have this synth. And you can see that one is very low, and that's just again something to add some atmosphere to the beat. And for this one I added halftime, fab filter, took a lot of the lows out and also a little bit of the highs, some shaper box just to give it some panning effect, and of course my favorite, Valhalla Vintage Verb. And this is what they sound like when they're played together. So now the next thing is about leveling them correct, and I would like the guitar to be in focus. So I will leave that at this level. Then for the next part, the most important thing is the vocal. Just turning that down a bit so it's not too overwhelming. The same thing for the second vocal, and then for the synth. I just turn it up a bit so you can hear it in the mix, and it's not completely behind everything, but I just brought it up a bit. And the thing you can see here is that the level is around, again, what I said, about around minus 15 to minus 20 dB. And then I also have this drum loop in the beginning, sounding like this. Just turn it down a little bit, added some RC20 to it. This is without RC20. And this is with it. And then some Valhalla vintage verb again. So that was it for the melodies. Yeah, as I mentioned to begin with, we had them around minus 15 to minus 20 dB. That's just how I like it personally. And next up, we're going to talk about the drums. And for the drums, I like them to be louder than the melodies. So that's very different from sound to sound, how much they should peak. But I will try to the best way to show you how I center them in the mix. So the first sound that we start with is the clap, and when I do this I play it with the melodies, because you always have to mix them in concert with the melodies. It's very hard to mix drums on their own without the melodies. So the first thing that I would like to mix in is the clap, so let's listen to it. So I like it to sit around that place, around minus 10 dB. And then I added a EQ to it just to filter some of the lows out. And next up we have the snare. I like it around there. And again, I just add a EQ to it to take some of the lows out. Next up we have the open hat. And I pan this out a bit because I have a second open hat. So the one is in the left side and the other one is in the right side. So it gives a bigger like stereo sound. So let's listen to it with the second open hat. Then the hi-hat. And now it's time for the 808, the thing that we all been waiting for. The most important thing, or one of the most important thing in this kind of beats. And I actually have two different 808s in this beat. So let's start with the first one. Yeah, it's also important for me to say the 808s, they are the loudest elements in these kind of beats. So they should really stand out from the rest. And if we look right now, let's just play it. See, we're peaking around minus 7 dB. So let's play it with the 808 so you really can see that that's what's bringing the volume up. So I like it around there for the first one. And what I do is I put this one in mono because take the 808s in mono, it will center in the mix and then everything else will be more stereo. Then we have the second 808 in the second part of the hook. That was actually it for the volume, the sounds. What I do now might be a little bit different, but it will make sense, because what I do now is I would like to lower the volume, so we hit around -6 to -3 dB, and then I like to add a little bit of high end to my mix. The reason that I do this is because in BeatStars you need a version with some headroom, so that's why I bring the volume down, so the artists have that option when they purchase a beat. So let's do it. So now you can see we are around -3 dB, and what I like to do now is add some high end to the mix, and I just do that with the Fruity Parametric EQ. I boost a little bit around 135, but then the most important thing is at the high end, because you can really hear the difference. Let's play it without, and with I will bypass and put it on while we're going. So you can see that really brings the high end out of the mix, and that's what make it have this crispy sound that you can hear in a lot of music in this genre. And I actually also add another EQ to the mix, and that's just the standard Fruity Parametric EQ, and I boost a little bit around 1500, and then I also boost at 8000 at the high end, and again you can hear it with and without. And now we can see when we're adding the EQ, the volume goes up to a little bit over where I like it to be for the artist. So I just turn it down a little bit. So there you had it. In this video I just break down how we mix the beat. The most important thing is how you balance the beat, and of course also you can add some effects to it to add a vibe to your beat after your taste. I will explain in the next video. You will see how I master it, so you can actually get that loud volume, and that's typically the beats that you post on YouTube and BeatStars for preview and stuff. This is just the mixed version for the artists, so they can record on it with headroom and everything. So make sure you stay tuned to the next video I will make in a week from now about how you can master your beats and really get that volume out. But thank you for watching, and see you next time.